Fuck, man, you're killing me, bro.
Oh, I'm out of breath.
You're pushing me, man. Oh, that's like 90% of my skill level. Fuck, I gotta slow down. I'm not gonna last another 50 miles.
Dude, I was looking at myself in the mirror the other day going, oh my God. I haven't been this fat when I was driving truck when I was in my late 20s.
That was the pace though, dude. That was no joke. Quick through there.
Hey, what's up YouTube? Recently I got to ride with my friend Joe, who also happens to be my mechanic. He pretty much exclusively works on my bike. He is known in the area particularly for suspension. On top of that, he happens to be an ex-A-level podium finishing rider. I was actually pretty nervous to ride with him. I wasn't sure where I was going to fall in line. We were going with a couple of his friends. I didn't have any of my friends with me. I kind of mentally accepted that I was probably going to be last on the pecking order, but you know, it's kind of only a pride thing. All I really wanted to do was ride well and at least try keeping up with him to some extent. In my heart, I know I'm not as good of a rider as he is. I'm also not as fast, naturally probably. However, I knew that he only rode a couple times this year, and he's developing a dad bod. Love you, Joe. So I knew if I could just keep consistent, I could probably at least stay with him. I mean, a man can dream, right? That's what I was telling myself.
Fuck, I was hoping he'd fall.
Honestly, he just kept seeming to get faster and faster. And focusing on that and him just made me make more mistakes. In areas like this, I never can decide if I should be like in first or second or like clutching through third. Some people make it look so smooth, and I don't know if it just comes with experience on the bike or I'm doing something wrong, but it's definitely something I want to focus on. When Joe wasn't leading the way in front, he was right behind me, right on my ass, and it really pushed me to kind of keep the pace, brake later, rev out sooner, let the suspension carry me through turns and into turns. It really put a lot of pressure on me to focus, but I kept thinking about him. Every time I'd hear his bike get close or him rev, I would think about him instead of focusing on what I was supposed to be doing. I told Joe about my problem, how he was essentially distracting me, and I asked him what I could do about it. He said when he was racing, all he did was focus on not focusing on the other guy. He spent a lot of mental effort just pretending they weren't there, but only focusing on himself, only focusing on his bike. He told me things like, it doesn't matter if they caught up to you or if they're going to pass you, because nothing you do is going to change that. They're already there. If you were a better rider than them generally, they wouldn't even be an issue. All you can do is race your own race, do your own thing, and be the best at it. I worked on this a lot during the day. I would do everything I could to essentially not think about him, and it becomes a weird vicious circle of not thinking about him. But ultimately, when I was watching him ride, he was so smooth, and although there were some sections where I was probably just as fast as he was, although I'm trying really hard, he's not trying at all, I realized a lot of the times where I'd fall behind is where I would make mistakes, because he really generally didn't make mistakes. He was so smooth, even with his gear changes, and the balance, and the way he de-weighted and weighted his pegs. It was actually a great learning experience for me to watch, and I'm pretty grateful for that. Thanks, Joe. So, can I keep up with the Nay rider? Yeah, for probably the first 60 feet or so. After that, I just have to ride at my level. I can't really focus on them. I have to just focus on what I do at the skill set that I have and perfect that. And then eventually, before I know it, hopefully, you know, I will grow and my skill will grow and I will become more confident and capable on the bike, and I will be able to keep up with whoever is also in my general skill set level. And that's all you can really ask for. Not all of us are born Graham Jarvis. Not all of us are Cody Webb. It's just kind of the nature of the beast. You know, some of those guys have been riding their whole life. Joe's been riding his whole life. I started just under 3 years ago. But it's just one of those things that you can really focus on, and in my opinion, it's a life sport. I ride with people that are 70 years old that are phenomenal riders. If you guys are fans of the channel, you'll notice that the trails in this video are much more flowy than what I typically ride, and it was a really interesting experience to be able to do that. And it's actually a location that's pretty close to me. I just don't normally ride there for whatever reason. And it was a different skill set. It was great practicing my skill set that I've learned in slow technical riding and applying some of the balance and stuff to the faster riding, but at the same time they're almost different things in themselves too. But I had a great time, so big props to Joe and everyone else that came. One of my friends I recently rode with told me that I'm probably the most passionate person he rides with in regards to this sport, passionate about the sport. And to me, I took that as a huge compliment. I fortunately have the time and the means and the friends to be able to really kind of focus on this sport, and not everybody can. You know, people have families and kids and whatnot. But for me, it's truly a passion, and I hope everyone watching this video, you know, it's a passion for them as much as they choose it to be. But other than that, I hope everyone has great riding, happy riding, safe riding, and I hope you all get better.